Good morning. How are you doing? Hopefully you're having a good day. Hopefully you're staying cool because it definitely has been hot. Now, I've got some good news and I've got some bad news. Good news is temperatures will come down a few degrees, all week long. Been talking about how the weekend temperatures will be in the upper 90s and we'll have a chance for some showers. Bad news is it's still going to be in the upper 90s, maybe mid to upper 90s, and rain totals, well, they probably won't be that great. If you pick up more than 1/4 of an inch, consider yourself very lucky. All right, let's get to get some folks here and say hi. Jennifer, thanks for streaming with us. I really appreciate it. Sonia, how are you doing? And Margaret, hopefully you're doing great as well. Gloria, how are you? Esther, good to hear from you. Sheila, hope you're doing great as well. And Dorothy, Gary, Sheila. She says good morning back. That's great. And Jimmy Lou Gates, my mother-in-law. Her name is Jimmy Lou. Just kind of pulling back the curtain a little bit. Lupe, how are you? And Michael. All right, we've got a lot on here today. Okay, so yesterday, make sure my mic's working. Yesterday, we hit 103, so we tied the record once again. We've been doing that lately. That makes 55, and I've been saying this for at least a month, that we would surpass the number one, the highest number of days ever in a year, 2009, 59, and pretty confident about that. Matter of fact, that probably will happen in the next couple of weeks. By the time we get to the end of the month, unfortunately, we may be well into the 60s, maybe even mid-60s. So we won't forget the summer of 2022. And because it's been so dry and it's been so hot, we've got some fires out there. Big Sky Fire, good news here, contained, now 70% contained, that's good. Has burned up almost 1,500 acres, that's terrible. Hermosa Fire, 35% contained over in Hays County, and that one is still roaring pretty good. But it's burnt less than 100 acres, but anyway, Smoke Rider Fire, 70% contained and about 1,200 acres there. It's just horrible, right? Good news here, instead of the fire danger being really high or very high, it's more of moderate today. But, just don't burn anything outdoors because we just got so much dry stuff all over the place. All right, tropics have been quiet. What we're looking at here is the red and the deep reds and some of the oranges, sea surface temperatures, and they're definitely above what we need for tropical development. But that's only one piece of the puzzle. The other piece is, usually these systems, they work from the east to the west, across the Atlantic Basin, across the Caribbean, and into the Gulf of Mexico. But this year, and it's not supposed to be this way because it's a La Nina year, but the shear where you see the blue, it just kind of go in the opposite direction. So if I put this in motion, you can see those white arrows, those wind arrows, just kind of fighting if anything was to try to develop. And it's starting to calm down. It was a lot stronger than this. Not much shear in the Gulf of Mexico. But watch what happens. I'm going to let this go all the way to the 15th. Notice how it really relaxes a little bit. Also, there's been a lot of Saharan dust. That's going to come down. So what I'm telling you is, by the end of the month, we're going to see a real ramp up of tropical activity, also into September as well. And that's pretty much in line with the way it usually works. You can kind of see where we're at there, August the 5th. Just in that very much ramping up stage. We're running a little bit behind. So the forecast had to be kind of dropped a little bit because of that. But still, I think because it's La Nina, we'll see the wind shear calm down. We'll see the dust calming down. I think hurricane frequency will increase quite a bit. Now, speaking of the Gulf of Mexico, we've got an inverted trough. On TV, I usually say just disturbance, but since you're streaming with this a little more technical, this is an inverted trough. And why is it called an inverted trough? Well, you can barely see them, but those little white arrows there, that's the flow at about 500 millibars. And you can kind of see how it makes an upside down U shape from the central Gulf of Mexico into Texas. Now, usually it's the opposite, especially during the winter and spring and fall. Usually the U shape features come from how can I do it on the screen? Anyway, from west to east, but the inverted troughs, because the jet stream is so far to the north, they move from east to west. Could call it a tropical wave too, I guess. But most of the time when you have one of these like inverted troughs over the Gulf of Mexico where there's so much moisture available, usually it looks a little more impressive, but it's starting to look somewhat organized. And so as this continues to move towards us, our rain chances will increase, but I'm expecting for it to fall apart for the most part as it comes over the hostile territory of the land. But it will give us some showers. Unfortunately, over the next week, if you pick up more than 1/4 of an inch, you're going to be very lucky, I think. I think these rain totals are going to be really light. And by the way, a lot of times when these systems move from the east to the west, they have some wind with them as well. If there's a thunder shower that develops and grows high enough, yeah, then there'll be some downburst winds. Because it's been so hot and it's going to be pretty hot over the weekend. So that alone is going to give you some wind, but it's usually enhanced when you have one of these waves that moves from east to west. All right, temperature 86 this morning. We're down to 78. The record today is 104. Here's some good news. We won't be breaking that record or tying that record. I think the high today is going to be right at 100. I suppose we could hit 101, but I think about 100 should do it for this afternoon. We'll have a little bit more cloud cover out there. We're seeing a lot of sunshine, so don't forget the sunscreen. You're definitely going to need that. And looking at the state map, there's not a whole lot to see here, except for that Dallas-Fort Worth is really hot. Dallas-Fort Worth may be one of the hottest places in the entire country, much less the state, even hotter than Phoenix out west. And there's our disturbance there that's in the Gulf of Mexico. High at Dallas-Fort Worth, 102. I think Wichita, Kansas, 101. So the heat is in the middle portions of the country, and that's primarily because of, look at that, there's our upper level high. Now, thank goodness, yeah, it's been hot this summer. We did hit 107 last month no, was that June? Or is that July? July, 107. If the high, and it's been rare that the high has been centered right over South Texas, if that'd be the case, our temperatures would just really go sky high. It's been kind of centered more over in the Four Corners, Colorado, up to the north around Kansas. Now, when it's positioned like it is right there, when you have a northeast flow in the mid-levels, boy, that is a dry motion for us. I mean, really hard for us to pick up any kind of rainfall that way. But what I think is going to happen is the high is going to kind of scoot off to the north, and that disturbance that's now in the Gulf will move onshore. I think the computer model's kind of overdoing it with rainfall on Saturday, you can see there, and then scattered on Sunday as well. And I think for the most part, with the high being centered up here around Kansas to Colorado in that area, I think in the afternoons, it's possible to have little weak disturbances or at least enough moisture and not so much subsidence that just about every day I'm going to include a chance for an isolated shower. But again, I'm telling you, over the next week, really over the next couple of weeks, if you pick up a grand total of 1/4 of an inch, just consider yourself very, very lucky. High temperature today, right there, right at 100. There will be some isolated showers, but notice how it's really over our far eastern counties and not for us. Matter of fact, I may take out the 10%. It's just not looking very good at all for this afternoon. 10% is not a very good chance to begin with, but I may have to take that completely out. Looking at that latest run there. Let's see, as we head into Saturday, yeah, a little bit better chance. Now, not everybody's going to see rain. Just because I have a 30% for Saturday definitely doesn't mean everybody's going to see rain. Some folks may pick up a little bit, but not a whole lot. And then Sunday, it's going to be even worse, I think. Yeah, you know, just a good 10%, maybe 20. Not a very good chance of seeing some rain. So how about rain totals? Well, this is just one forecast. This is the IBM computer model using Watson. It really does a pretty good job. Let's see. Yeah. If you were to take, and the thing is with this map here, it's one individual site, And so if you're in between the green blobs, then you're picking up 0. Notice Pleasanton, 1/10 of an inch by this computer model all weekend, hardly anything. I think some places 1/10 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch, down around Victoria about 1.5 inches. So definitely, and that makes sense, you know, where the environment is a little more conducive. Down along the coastal sections, you're going to have a better chance of picking up some showers and some thunder showers there, and not so good of a chance here in Bexar County, and especially in the hill country. I think we're going to be lacking quite a bit. All right, so boy, I have really rambled on today. Let's see, Debbie, hey, I didn't get to say hi earlier. Melissa says, so we have a chance for some more dry rain. You know, I probably wouldn't put it that way, but I like that. Matter of fact, you know, dry rain sounds like a good water, like maybe not a water. I'd have to think about that, but there's some kind of beverage there. Dry rain, I kind of like that. Sheila, hi, how are you? Michelle, thanks. And Kathy, Christina, how are you guys doing? Desi, thanks for tuning in. And Juanita, thanks for streaming with us. Mark, I wish I could get to everybody, but I really appreciate it. Okay, let's go here into the final stretch. We've got extreme to exceptional drought. And I've been saying this, and here's the latest drought monitor. It's really expanded all through the hill country, down south towards Crystal City, Karnes County, Wilson County. I'm surprised northern Bexar County isn't included there. I think one of the reasons why in the last round of rain, even though the airport only picked up 1/100th, northern Bexar County and kind of northwestern Bexar County did get a pretty good downpour. I know at my house was it last month? Yeah, it was last month. I picked up like 1 inch for the month. And that was pretty good, so I just got lucky. But anyway, the aquifer today, we're sitting at 630.4, and I've been saying this for a long time too, that we're going to get into the 620s before we see the 640s, and boy, I think that's going to happen. We continue to drop and drop. In case you're wondering, when was the last time that we had been that low in the aquifer? 2014, I believe, October of 2014. Mold is light, 270 grains per cubic meter. Okay, let's get to the 7-day, and hopefully this wasn't the first thing you wanted, because this has been a pretty long one here. 100 degrees for a high today, partly cloudy. Heat index today about 101, 102. Again, I may take that 10% out because it just does not look good. But eastern counties, you'll have a chance. 97 Saturday, and it's kind of sad when 97 seems good, right? We're looking forward to that. 98 on Sunday, 30% chance on Saturday, and a slight chance Sunday. Matter of fact, each and every afternoon, real slight and isolated, but I've got a lot of numbers there, but the total is going to be really light, I'm afraid. Now, again, could be some gusty winds on Saturday if you're going out to the lake around the isolated showers and few thunderstorms that develop. And then I think we're back to 100 Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And I really feel like within a week, maybe 10 days, that we will surpass that 59 100-degree days in 2009, and we're on our way to mid-60s. I think by the end of the month, unfortunately. I don't see the weather improving that much, the pattern improving that much. One thing that may help us out is maybe later into August, may have a hurricane along the coast or a tropical storm, also into September. But even then, I'm in the middle of doing a little research, and even then when we have a landfalling tropical system along the coast, it's not always a slam dunk that we're going to pick up rain. So sometimes that doesn't even help. But what would help is an overall kind of pattern change, more of a tropical feed, not just a tropical storm or hurricane, but more of a tropical feed, not so much sinking air, not so much ridge of high pressure. That's been our theme throughout the summer so far. But anyway, thanks for streaming with us. I've got the noon show coming up. Matter of fact, I'm going to pull back the curtain again. I'm running behind. But let's see. Watch us at 4, 5, 6, and 10. And will I be back tomorrow? No, I won't. I'd like to be back, but it's Saturday. I will be back Monday. All right, thanks for streaming with us, and I hope you have a great weekend. Stay cool. We'll see you later.